Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark Mega Hunk Christmas movies.
I'm Brian, and I like Hallmark Mega Hunk Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I really should like, but I despise Mega Hunk Hallmark Christmas movies, and this is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Wowzers!
Oh, boy.
Hello,
Yeah.
everybody.
Hello.
How are you?
Big show.
Big show.
Really big show.
Guys, we're typically we stick to the order and
We
we
typically
don't
very stick
mess
to the order.
things up.
Yes, we don't.
But we had to. We had to go a little out of order. For those of you that tuned in today hoping that we would be inventing the Christmas Prince, we're doing that tomorrow. We had to move up the three wise men to give the people what they want. This was a
Tough
big
decision.
deal.
But
tough
we had to do
decision.
Twitter blew up. Like literally
It
exploded.
finally went down?
And then also Three Wise Men and a Baby happened.
Yeah.
Both in the same week.
That's right.
Twitter wasn't prepared.
Man,
Wasn't prepared.
but thank
They've
God
had so
Twitter
long.
made it through that night because that would have been unfortunate. If Twitter went down on the night of the three wise men, people would have known what to do with themselves.
Yeah. No. That would have been bad.
We would have had to watch the movie and not talk to
I-
people about it.
I know.
I mean, it's like
I
you
know.
can't have a Facebook chat group.
You can't do it. It's too much. It's
Too
too much. Guys, I hope that you're doing well. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed yesterday's show with Alonzo and Jax. I thought it was a lot of fun. Happy Thanksgiving week to everyone out
yeah.
there. Many of you will be traveling this week, and we hope that we will be the companion for your ears.
Nicely done.
Companion for
How long
your
have you been working on that one?
Just right now.
I don't believe that.
That's how good I am today, boys.
You
I am.
since this is going to be our most listened to episode, you want to remind everybody about our candidacy for president?
Yes.
We got a
Probably a good
review
time.
saying that we talked too long about it last time, but I want to give you an opportunity to clear up any misunderstanding there.
Not a bit. We are running for president. We are running on the steak party platform.
2024. All you can
And,
eat sushi and steak on
steak.
Thanksgiving
Yep.
Day.
That's exactly right. It was brought to my attention that we should maybe broaden it up a little bit for vegans, etc.
Yep.
But we will not.
we
It's
are
under consideration.
I spent the weekend in the lab working on Beyond Steak,
The Rocket Lab?
the Rocket Lab.
Ooh, save it.
I'm not there yet with the Beyond Steak, but we're getting there, and hopefully we'll have some news by next Thanksgiving.
When we're already in office.
That's the goal. Very exciting news, everybody. Today, if you want to watch us, we're on the Philo. If you want to watch this episode, you can go to Philo.
It's off to work we
show. You can watch us on the Philo, so you can go to Philo, watch Three Wise Men and a Baby for the 500th time, and then go over to Deck the Hallmark and watch this episode review over at Philo. And if you don't have Philo, philo.tv/DTH, you can sign up, get a free trial, and all that good stuff.
Come on.
We're
Can't
right
beat
there, right there.
whole
And it's like
time.
split up into nice little shows. So all the Winkles to Hearts are in a nice little thing. Hallmark stuff.
beautiful.
Netflix Lifetime. All of it's just nice and organized.
Super organized. All the video you can possibly
Shout out to Dan for all the hard work he's done.
So much work I've been
Getting
putting
all
in.
the video
Slaving.
content over there. God, just nonstop. He's been
He
nonstop.
was a mess.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was hard to be around.
Yeah.
While you were
I was
doing
angry. I was grumpy.
He was so grumpy all the time. Guys, are we ready to talk?
Are we?
Are we ready to talk about this?
People are ready for the hot takes.
I'm actually very intrigued by the hot takes.
I'm very intrigued by the hot take as well. And I feel like
What do you think my hot take's going to be?
can I write it down and not say it out loud?
Ooh, that's
Sure.
a good idea.
Can I write? Okay.
Yeah, good. And then I'll write.
I know exactly what I think you're going to say.
So it came to me this morning what Brand's going to start with, too. So I'll write down my idea of what you're going to say.
Wow, guys, a lot of pressure.
I heard your
a lot
voice.
of pressure.
I heard your voice in my head.
Wow, a lot of pressure. Okay, here we go. Three Wise Men and a Baby originally premiered on the Hallmark Channel on November 19th, 2022, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with shirtless Andrew Walker. Folks, this is not a drill. Andrew Walker, shirtless, less than 20 seconds to start. I knew it was coming,
But they didn't wait.
but they did not wait. Right out of the gate there. Just really something. Giving us a little pep talk. A pep talk that I'm sure that everybody who was watching was paying attention to the words.
Yes.
And not just the body that was giving it.
Of course.
His name is Luke. He's a firefighter, and boy, is he a firefighter. We then meet his brother, Taylor, who works at a video game company. He's good at his job, but incredibly grumpy, which ultimately gets him fired after he got mad about them slapping a snowman on his new video game promotional thing. He claims that he's quitting, but everybody knows the truth. No one likes you, buddy. Lastly, we meet the third brother, Stefan, who I guess is a pet therapist. We all know that it's a thing in real life. Pet therapy?
Yeah, pet therapists
definitely.
are real.
We know it.
We knew that.
He gets very
It's
old.
just there for an Ace Ventura joke. That's why.
That's
it's
why.
Yeah.
We're better
More than
for
fair.
it. He is very overwhelmed by people. Apparently, Luke lives with his mom. Apparently, Taylor also lives with his mom in the basement. Also, apparently, Stefan also lives at his mom's in the detached garage. So, of the three of them, I will say Stefan, I think, is doing a little bit better.
A little bit better.
But basically,
Not great.
they're all there.
Yeah.
It becomes very clear very quickly that despite all of the brothers still living at home, they don't really get along great, nor do they really want to help mom decorate the Christmas tree. It just seems like a chore. Luke is at the fire station one night when he hears a doorbell. He goes to see who it is, and there's a baby with a note. It's written to him, and the writer says that the baby's name is Thomas, and they need someone to watch Thomas until Christmas, and then they'll be back. So naturally, he takes Thomas straight to mom. Mom, you've done this a few times. Maybe you can handle this one. They talk it over as a family, and they agree to keep the baby until Christmas. If the mom doesn't come back at Christmas, they will then call the authorities and do all that stuff. But mom immediately leaves. She gets a call from her sister that she took a fall, so she has to leave, and then she gets caught by the snow. So it's just the boys now. The boys are back in town. So since Taylor has no job, no life, he gets the first shift to hang out with Thomas. He tries to stop Thomas from crying with food, but drops the formula all over the floor. I've been there. It's great.
Yep.
We love it. So he takes the baby to the store in a wagon. It does not go well. When Stefan gets home, he sees Taylor really struggling, and he's like, how hard can it be? Turns out, hard. So they work together to give him a bath. He poops immediately after. We've all been there. Taylor wonders who could abandon a baby at Christmas, and Stefan said Dad would know, but we don't talk about that. Luke gets home to see two very overwhelmed brothers and a crying baby, and he's like, I got this, boys. They wake up the next day to see a happy baby, fresh-baked cookies, a well-rested Luke. They're just like, what the heck is this guy? This guy is Superman. So he takes Thomas to run some errands, and when he comes back, Stefan realizes that they now have a totally different baby. They're able to call the cops, and they get it switched back very quickly. It only took a commercial break. That's all you need in order to switch babies back. And they realize that they actually need to work together as brothers to do a good job raising this baby. They spend the day together, going to the Christmas market, bumping into Taylor's ex that he's clearly still into. They end up buying elf costumes and getting a picture with Santa. They end the day by realizing that they really enjoyed spending the day together as brothers. They realize how much work parenting is and how much their mom did raising three of them solo, so they go and get a Christmas tree that they can decorate it like she wanted them to. And they find out that there's a Christmas decorating contest in the neighborhood. The grand prize is a cruise. So they decided they're going to go all in on decorating the house so that they can give their mom a little thank you cruise action. Taylor's ex ends up coming over, and so does Stefan's client, who is clearly into him. So naturally, to impress them, they do a choreographed dance. We'll be doing ours later.
Of course.
We've been working on it. All seems to be going well But when Luke is late getting home from work one day, Taylor is mad, says that it's always everyone else before family. Luke goes off on him. Taylor's like, deuces, I'm out. Stefan has the baby while Luke is at a charity event. He discovers a rash on baby's chest, freaks out, calls both the brothers, says meet me at the hospital. They all meet there. Turns out it's just teething. And Kimberly Sustad. This gives them time to hash things out. They decide to put in the work to decorate the heck out of this house. It's time for the voting. The lights go out. A fuse breaks. Goes free. What is a fuse? Does a fuse break? Fuse.
Blown fuse.
That flute. That
flues.
And so they decide, instead of having the lights, that they would just kind of put on a show. It's not great. Their mom does end up showing up and singing Silent Night. Everyone joins them, and they lose. But they're happy, and that is what's important. Until Thomas's mom shows up and says, thank you so much for watching my baby. She explains that she was struggling with life and finances and just needed a few days to figure some things out, shake some things around and all that stuff. And Luke is like, but why me? And she says, you were the first to arrive when I went into labor. You were so calm and kind, and I knew that you would keep him safe. It's Christmas morning, and they give their mom the picture that they took with Santa, and she's just so happy that they're all there together and not fighting. After Christmas, Stefan goes to give a speech and apparently passes out, so not quite ready for crowds yet, despite doing a jam-up job as a wise man. One of the 3 wise men. And the baby. But he goes over.
And the baby. I'm sorry.
But he goes over. It's okay, guys. We'll fix it in post. But he goes over to the client's house and says that he would like to spend more time with her. They kiss. Taylor shows up at his old job and helps his old team finish launching the game with his ex. And she's very impressed by that. Luke goes by to give Thomas's mom an ornament, and they the ornament that they made with Thomas when they had him, and is like, hey, I'm here if you ever need me. And she's like, come on in. Cut to 1 year, and Luke finished a house that he was remodeling. Stefan and Taylor both have girlfriends, and they go back and they start their dance again while Thomas looks on. And that, my friends, was 3 wise men and a baby.
We did it.
Mm-hmm.
We did it. We're going to take a quick break. And we're going to break this movie down with 4 segments here on Deck the Hallmark. Great job, Brian.
Deck the Hallmark.
Dan, come on.
Let's even try.
We're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark. We're reviewing 3 wise men and a baby today. And it's time for the hot take. It's where we share exactly how we felt about possibly
the biggest movie event of the decade.
Possibly.
It's somewhere in between biggest movie event of the decade and a solid Saturday night for Hallmark Channel.
That's right.
Let's find out the most important thing. Brian.
Yes.
Newest member of Deck the Hallmark.
Yep. It's me.
Beloved by all except for one person.
One reviewer.
I will find them. I will win them over.
You're not going to be mean. You're going to try to win them over.
I will bring you baked goods.
What's your favorite flavor of fudge?
What's your address? I'm not going to come there and beat you up. I'm going to bring you baked goods.
You would have paid full price for those chairs last week. We got new chairs.
We went. My wife.
We don't have time, but
We
we
were
will.
almost to hot take. We've sidetracked with chairs.
My wife thought this was so funny. We went to a furniture store
That's right.
to get a kitchenette, like
right.
something that we could use for like storage of snacks and to put the microwave and our new miniature dishwasher and our coffee pot on to make it all nice and cozy. We came back with 3 new recliners. Did we need 3 recliners?
Yes.
No, we did not. We had a great living room set here.
Yeah. But it's upgraded now.
It's upgraded now.
Yeah, it
Did
is.
we make back the money on the living room sets? No, we gave that away for free. So,
Crushing it out here.
Venmo is at Bramble Jam Podcast.
and if anybody wants to know how to run a business, you give us a shout because we know
Pretty awesome.
how to do it. Brian, 3 wise men and a baby, buddy. What'd you think? Do you want us to join? Oh, He's standing up.
Standing up, everybody.
Philo.tv/DTF.
Wow. A slow clap.
That
from
didn't get
Brian.
faster, which was interesting.
That was actually just a test. Because in our Mary Measure episode, you said, Bran, you'd give in to a standing O. Dan said he would not. This was the perfect time to test that out. Neither of you gave in to a peer pressure standing ovation.
Man.
Congrats to both of you.
So
Great
this is
job.
not your reaction to the movie?
That has nothing to do with this movie.
Wow.
Just a test.
A fake hot take. I know why the people don't like you now.
So let's get it
All
started.
right, here's the real one.
The real one. Here we go.
So this one was nearly impossible to separate from the hype. You can't go into it without expectations. Knowing you guys know all these actors. I know I've met Andrew, so it's so hard to not be rooting for them to crush this because this is something that's just so big. In general, they didn't. Well, I like this. I'll start with that. I like this movie. It was really funny. They didn't go for the low-hanging fruit that normally they would. Like, for example, they didn't do a decorating montage, which when I thought they were going to, I was kind of looking forward to it because I thought it would be funny. I thought they would do a good job. They didn't do a decorating montage, and afterwards I'm like, they know better than me because they don't need a decorating montage. More time for other stuff. They didn't do, Dan, you brought this up too, when they swapped the babies, they didn't stretch it out.
I thought it was going to be a half hour of the movie.
They did nothing with it, it was sort of bold.
Yeah.
Like, they just figured it out. They're like, there wasn't time.
I mean, that's
for
a whole
that.
Friends episode.
Yeah. When they did the elf costume, there's probably an hour of outtakes from that.
Yeah.
And they just didn't have time. And so I realized afterwards, I'm like, this movie genuinely wasn't long enough. Like, I wanted more. I wanted more time with the neighbor. That was really funny. The guy they were kind of butting heads with, who it wasn't like aggressive. It was sort of like a funny thing back and forth. They always left like, okay, see you later.
See it. Yeah, they never get mad at him.
So
That's right.
It was great. It had so much heart. And they did the brother thing like so well. Like Tyler and Paul were I think the best dynamic, the brother dynamic. Like they butting heads, and we'll probably get into it maybe in the What the Hallmark. But I was trying to figure out the ages, like who's the youngest, who's the oldest, who's the middle. I have an idea, but I think we could probably argue over it unless they said it and I missed it.
No, I think they did kind of infer that it's Andrew Walker's the oldest.
The oldest, I would assume.
But I would have thought Paul was like, based upon his profession and his personality, that he was the oldest. But yeah, and then Tyler was the youngest. That was nobody questioned.
Yeah, pretty sure. I almost thought for a minute Paul would be the middle because
and then Andrew's the oldest. Yeah, that's
Andrew the oldest, Tyler the youngest, Paul the middle. But then I thought maybe Paul the youngest because he's sort of like crunchy and like on his own type of thing. And so I think it is Tyler the youngest. So they did say they made him go down the hill.
Yeah.
So you do that to the youngest.
Yeah.
Torture them. So yeah, I mean, I'll finish like I started.
Wow. So is it one overall best of the year
No.
for you? No.
I do have a scientific system now. My
system is
rating
You
system.
guys hear that?
ridiculous.
I want to be very clear.
Multiple- yeah.
Brian Harold says it is not the number one
It's not my
Hallmark
number
Christmas
one.
movie of
What's
2022.
your number one
I don't
movie
wanna
this
do
year?
this
Let
right
everybody
now.
know.
I don't want to do
Please
this
let
right
everyone
everybody know.
what your
Right.
system
So they can be
puked
as
out.
appalled as we are.
That's right.
It's Cozy Christmas In.
Boo!
For reasons.
Hold
To be
on,
fair,
hold on.
thank you. Come on, please defend me.
No, I'm
No,
not going
it's
to
gonna
defend
get
you.
I have
worse
a
before it gets
decent
better,
defense.
I
buddy.
don't have a problem with, and this movie is not my number one either. I don't have a problem with it not being your number one. I do have a large problem with Cozy Christmas
what?
and being better than this
Okay.
movie.
Yes.
It's not that it's better, and it's not a quality. This was not super Christmassy. Like it just
What between
wasn't-
the nativity
Nativity.
scene, the giant
Oh, I'm
decorations?
sorry. They actually talked about baby
The
Jesus in this
Santa.
movie. You
wasn't
liberal
Christmassy
woke.
about
I don't know if you guys know this. The real reason for
You
the season,
liberal woke.
okay?
Yeah.
No, it was. I mean, they're all Christmassy, but it wasn't like the story wasn't Christmas story. There was a lot of like emotion.
Can you explain your rating?
Yeah, absolutely. R. It's R
Yeah.
for what is the first one?
Man, this is
Yeah.
awesome.
This is good
Well,
air.
there's a respect, just general respect. R for real Christmassy. R for recommendability, and R for rewatchability.
So the only thing that this isn't getting for you is real Christmas.
It's the real Christmassy. I think I had it at a 2 out of a.
Cozy Christmas Inn is more Christmassy
Top.
than
Yeah,
this.
it is more
Yes.
Christmassy, and this obviously gets the respect. This obviously gets the recommendation. This was a number 6 out of a possible 7 for me.
Oh.
So it's right there. It's just Cozy Christmas Inn. I don't know what it was. It was more Christmassy. qualitatively, this is funnier. I just don't have a
Then
funny
Cozy Christmas, and we are funnier. We have been the last 10 minutes.
Funny doesn't start with R. So it just doesn't have a
real
place
funny.
in my
Real funny.
And also, I didn't want to go back and re-watch the movies we've already done to find out how funny they were.
Yeah, good, great.
So,
So what is it, like 2?
I think I have it 3 or 4 actually.
There it is. There it is. 3 or 4.
I got
Everybody.
Cozy, Ghosts, and then
I'm actually
maybe
with the
this-
reviewer. Get out of here. Get out of here.
So you want me to put a job
Yeah.
posting up on my way up?
Yeah. So this movie is hilarious. We talked going into this movie about how if it can possibly live up to the hype. There was so much hype into this. We've had doing this for 5 seasons now. There's been a lot of movies that we've been excited about, and some of the ones, Dan, you can attest to this, that we've been the most excited about have been the ones that we've been
Train
most
wreck.
disappointed by.
Yes.
I am so happy to say that this did not disappoint. Was very funny. The 3 brothers had such a great dynamic. And I felt like while I was still watching the Hallmark Channel, it was its own thing, which was wonderful. We haven't really had a Hallmark movie. Like lots of times, let's talk Christmas Story Christmas, okay? Christmas Story Christmas, you watch that and you're like, that thing right there is fan service. That's fan service. That's fan service. And for some people, that really bothers them. Other people was like, I'm all here for the fan service. I'm all here for the fan service. This movie is fan service. We started the movie with Andrew Walker shirtless, fan service. And I think that's okay. It's wonderful. Now, what it doesn't do is make it better than Ghost of Christmas Always for me. Ghost of Christmas Always is the best movie of the year, possibly the best Hallmark Christmas movie I've ever seen. It's amazing. This movie, while it is an absolute blast, and I will watch it again and again, and I will laugh, it doesn't have the same story. I'm amazed by the story. I'm on the edge of my seat as Ghost of Christmas Always. So it's the number 2 for me, and it's a very strong number 2. I feel like most years that this would be my number 1, but Ghost of Christmas Always, I just loved it so much. It's such an amazing story. The filmmaking quality is just out of this world. This script, though, is fantastic. Shout out to Paul and Kimberly for just knocking it out of the park. Super funny. I think that we would all be okay with this being a thing. We continue to see movies where they're doing this type of stuff. Even these 3 brothers continue to do something each year, some sort of hijinks. I think would be a lot of fun. So number 2 for me, and it's a very strong 2. I absolutely adored this movie. Dan?
Yeah, so we'll start with the bad news, which is it's only okay from a movie standpoint. It's really overstuffed, and all of this movie basically serves for a humorous landscape. So for the comedy. So it's not like in Unexpected Christmas where you have this unicorn bit that's funny because the character and the story. This is just let's put these guys in these situations to do funny things, and it's a love letter to the fans, and there's nothing wrong with that. The 3 love stories are just not needed. It really, the end of this movie is just not needed. There is plenty there with 3 brothers who are estranged from each other because their dad left at a young age, and a mom that's tried to hold them all together. There's plenty of heart, there's plenty of soul, there's plenty of humor there. This movie was we staged the comedy as the first and foremost, and then everything else kind of is added on, and it's too much. The good news is that it's really funny. It's a funny movie, and it's got good performances. Margaret Collin from the original 3 Men and a Baby is great. Tyler Hynes gets some really funny, cynical lines in this movie. Paul Campbell, his character, I just did not see Pet Therapist coming there. That's fun. Andrew Walker gets the biggest laugh for me when he just says one word in this movie. So it is very, very funny. It is a movie that it would have been better had it just been a gag. Had the whole movie been, there's a dude across the street who takes this more serious than we do, and we got to decorate for Christmas. We got to take care of this baby. But the last 8 or 10 tries to Hallmark it up, and not in the brothers way, which I thought was really, really endearing and good, in a different way. And so it's fun. It's a funny movie. It does live up to the hype of being a Hallmark comedy, which is great. But as a whole, Brandon's 100% right. This movie does not hold a candle to Ghost of Christmas Always. It doesn't. It doesn't. It will easily be top 5. It will probably easily be 2 if I go and look at it. I've not ranked them yet. It'll be number 2. It's solid. It is a movie that is very, very funny. But from a story standpoint and a cumulative feel at the end of the movie standpoint, what we're left with is a lot of laughs, seeing these three mega talents all together in one movie. Not a cohesive movie. And so for me, that's fine. I would much prefer it over much everything else I watch, but it does not rise to the heights of Ghost of Christmas Always. And I can't imagine someone watching both of these and thinking that Ghost of Christmas Always was not just a out and out better movie. I honestly can't believe that. So we're not going to be anyone's favorite podcast this week, but that's okay since none of us put it number one.
I think a lot of people are there.
Yeah.
You think so?
That have watched all the movies. I think everybody loved this movie.
Yeah.
But it is a ton of fun, but there's
I like Unexpected Christmas better than this movie.
Okay.
Like this is funnier,
Sure.
but like the Heinz BJL chemistry, unbelievable. The storyline, a different take on a fake romance. The comedic bits when they land at the service of the story. I'm here for all of that. This movie was just funny. Like it was just a line-o-rama, fun times, fun situations. That's all it was. And so it kind of limits itself from a scale. Like it's the degree of difficulty small. You got three really funny dudes that get to just ham it up. That's funny. I'm not mad at him. It
What
just
was
is
the
what
line?
it is.
What was Andrew's line? The word.
It's my feels, but his line is
okay.
ahoy. They're three wise men, and they have to vamp, and Andrew Walker's character steps out and goes ahoy, which is a sailing term, and I almost did a spit take.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
That was like... That's comedic gold from a guy who is known for being the Hallmark hunk, and the other two guys are known for being funny. And he just it was perfect timing. Perfect timing on three magi seeing the Christ child, and he needs a line and goes with it ahoy. It was perfect. It landed like it should have never landed.
Yeah. Well, let's keep going with the feels
let's
then.
do the feels.
Bri.
Mine were funny feels too, and it was the first time I really laughed out loud. I think is when they were in the store and they spotted the baby's first Christmas ornament, and it's sort of like a light kind of went off my head. I'm like, if they now switch gears into doing all the baby's first stuff and like lean into it, that is a funny concept.
Yeah.
And then the half full Nelson wrestling scene was just. I read that they almost cut that.
What?
In an interview with Tyler, he said that was a discussion that they thought Hallmark execs thought it was a little too much roughhousing, and there was a discussion about it not actually making it. But I thought it was so perfect. Like, of course they're gonna wrestle and knock something over. Like, that was great. So my feels were just like authentic and funny feels.
One funny feel is Tyler squatting while holding the baby. Very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
He nailed that.
And I thought that the scene of these guys in the car talking was really, really, really good and really well acted. And as somebody with brothers, it worked. It worked because these are not conversations that you have as brothers very often. But when you do have these very serious conversations, like hashing out stuff from childhood or whatever, they're really powerful, and that was a powerful scene. So kudos. It was well written and really well acted by all three. So there you go. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with the Wait What's in the What the Hallmark. Here on Dyke the Hallmark on WLOO, the Igloo. Hi.
Is that LFO again?
WLFO again?
No,
Oh, okay.
WLOO.
Okay, W. Lou.
W-Lou, the Igloo
The Igloo.
is what it is.
Oh,
Caesar is what I got.
Well.
I had Caesar. That was in my ear. Trace was saying, "Yeah, Caesar."
No, I don't think she was. You know
She
she was.
doesn't sound like Trace.
That doesn't sound like her at all, Dan. Let's talk about the Wait What's. Bri, did you get any in this one?
Just like a few almost inconsequential wait what's here. Something that stuck out to me that where did they get the minivan? Like, who had a minivan? All of a sudden they're rolling.
Yeah, that's mine because
That's a big one.
I assume that Luke has a car because he's going to work.
Yeah.
But why does a single firefighter hunk drive a Dodge minivan?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Is it just, and it wasn't old enough to like be his mom's from when they were younger.
No.
That would be funny. If it was like a Ford Aerostar
be.
Yeah.
from like 1989,
Yeah.
that
Nice-
would have been a
nice
funny
creative
bit.
No,
Good
Luke
start.
went to the lot and he said, "Give me that van." Good for Holland stuff when it's cold.
The entire nativity scene performance, they didn't have a hat on the baby, and it was driving me crazy.
Yeah, they weren't even trying to keep anybody warm in that scene.
Nobody's trying to keep So that was just, and then the other thing too, we were promised a program light display, and we barely,
literally don't get one.
Yeah, nothing.
Literally do not get one.
A gaming programmer was going to program the light display.
I've programmed it all. It's going to be amazing. And they fixed the electricity, and we never get to see it.
No. It's just like, come on. Like, I know we don't need the design montage, but let's see it. Like, put on a show.
But, Bran, you were with, like, did that not bother you?
What?
That you didn't get to see the big light show that they had, Ali Lieber's character comes in and, like, programs this whole thing, and then we just never see it.
Yes, I always want to see a light show.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but once you fix it, you don't want to risk it again, you know.
You got to risk it for the biscuit.
You got to risk it for the biscuit. Yeah. I also only have a couple, which if we keep doing this, then we're not going to have jobs. So, like, let's not do that. Let's, like, not keep doing this type of movie because qualitatively, like, what are we going to do? It's an interesting choice to accept award, and while you're accepting the award, you pull out your phone because it's ringing. That's one of those things where I would just be like, I'm not going to check my phone while I'm up here on stage accepting an award. But kudos to him because he's a better man than I. And last but not least, how this girl, mommy, Thomas' mom, picked up baby at his house.
Yes,
but dropped off.
Yes,
at the fire station.
That's right.
It's alarming.
Yes.
5 alarm?
It's alarming. And I would say if I'm one of the wise men here, I'm like, are you sure that you're the mom here? Like, I don't know why anyone else would be coming up to claim this baby.
Right.
But you dropped the baby off at fire station, so why are you here? How'd you know where I live, etc.? I'd be doing a full written exam about this.
Yeah.
Can't just, it's like when you forget your card at a restaurant. You got to show back up. You got to show your ID.
The whole thing.
Do a little
you can't
thing.
just pick it up.
Can't just pick up baby.
That's my baby.
That's my baby.
Here you go.
God bless.
Here's your baby.
Dan?
Yeah, we've got to talk about the whole like genesis for how the movie takes place, which is this woman drops her baby off at a fire station and asks Tom, or no, what is his name? Luke to look after it.
Yes.
So firehouses are a designated safe haven. It's not like crazy to drive. Like that is why you see that so often.
Sometimes I actually go there and just sit.
Just sit for a while.
And if anybody questions me, I'm like, this is a safe haven. No one can touch me here.
That's weird. That's weird.
You guys don't do that.
We don't go.
When
sit
you
in
guys are having a tough day, you don't go and sit in the safe place.
Never.
No. Not even a little bit.
Maybe you should try.
I'm not going to sit in a firehouse, Brand. That's weird.
Have you ever been there?
No. Okay, that doesn't make...
There's a reason why it's a safe haven.
Yeah.
For people that are having a tough day.
I don't think that's why it is at all.
You don't call something a safe haven if it's not safe.
All right, I think we have a different definition of safe haven.
You go, when I'm at, like today, right now, you've put me in a bad space. I'm going to go to the local fire department down here on Lawrence. They have an amazing foosball table. And I'll go and I'll foos some balls.
Yep.
And I'll feel a lot better.
Feel better.
Because I feel safe.
You'll foos some balls. Great. Good for you. In this case, this woman drops her baby off because she needs a few days, but still wants to keep the baby. That one seems kind of weird.
Yep.
But two, they specifically are holding the baby, and they look at each other, and one firefighter says, normally I'd call child services, but at this time of night, I have news for you. Child services is a 24-hour gig. You can always reach someone at child services. Always, 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 always.
I think they were in the 25th hour is what it was.
It was a Spike Lee movie. You get a random baby from someone you do not know who apparently wants that baby back. That is very, very unusual.
Yeah.
But what you do immediately is you call child services. That is how you make sure that the child is taken care of. You can't go, well, she knows my first name. I'm taking this baby home. Absolutely not under any circumstances. However, this is a comedy, and of course that's the setup. I feel like there's a million other ways they could have gotten to this setup. They didn't do it. They went this route, but it's ginormous. Wait, what? You can't just like child services is what you do there. That's who you call. That's how that works. They're at the skating rink and he runs into Allie Liebert's character and she's like, "We came all the way here. I even paid $1 for parking."
Yep.
So I wrote that down originally, but if it's street parking, like in a big city, you pay the the
Parking's
thing.
a normal.
Great.
payment.
So she says that and she goes, "And I forgot my gloves, so I can't skate." There are literally people in the background skating without gloves on.
But she could have sensitive. She could have panda hands.
She could
where
have
it's like
panda hands.
sensitive hands.
But if you have your niece or your grandkid or your daughter somewhere to go skating, not having gloves is just not a good enough reason to not go. You're there. The skates are on. You're going to go skating, right?
Probably.
Yeah. At one point, Paul Campbell is trying to open up a pill box or a pill.
Yeah.
thing. When he opens it, a pill flies off right where his dog is supposedly standing, and he does not pick that pill up. No. Dangerous.
That's a relaxed dog.
Someone says they're as single as a snowman. Is that a saying?
I don't know if it's a saying.
It is now.
It is now.
And it's a shame because
It is now.
I think snowmen should have love too.
Yeah.
You should always have two.
Yeah. And
That's
then
exactly right.
lastly, Margaret Collins' character, the mom, before she leaves to go take care of somebody, she says, "We're the only house on the street without decorations." Now, that may be true on the outside of the house, but you've decorated the inside of this house to the nines.
Yeah.
From the street, people are going to see how festive you are. There is no way to hide it. Garland hangs on every wall.
It's garland for you.
That's garland for you. She has done a ton of decorating. To say we're the only house on the street is just fundamentally false. It would have made a lot more sense for there to be no decorations there until they show up with the kid.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
Why not? Because it's a Hallmark movie.
Hallmark
You already
Christmas
didn't follow any of those tropes. You may as well just do it right.
I appreciated it.
Yeah, I bet you did.
It makes me happy.
For what it's worth, I wrote down I didn't quite get it, but I was close on you, Brain. Here's what I wrote down you were going to say. Not exactly why I watch these movies, but really, really funny, even though it didn't have the Christmas feels I looked for. Still not mad about it. Really enjoyed it. Gonna be number 2 behind Ghost, no question about it. That's what I said.
What did you write down?
I wrote down, when this
Fake
world was not
ovation.
yet a glimmer in God's eyes, three wise men and a baby was molded and put on a shelf, and we're lucky enough to be alive at the time when it was released. So I wasn't too far off.
That's actually really nice.
That was way off.
Let's talk about questions that we still have here in the What the Hallmark segment. What would you like some resolution in?
Sure. There are 3 quick things.
Okay.
Number 1, Paul gave he gave a "do it for the baby" speech at one point, and
Yep.
then he says "new plan." And I wonder if that was a shout out to Antonio Cajon, because he says that all the time. Okay, new plan. That's like his thing when he's like working stuff out. So I wonder if that was just a little shout out to their boy. Are there no repercussions for dropping off a baby and then coming back to take the baby back?
Yeah, that's where child services gets involved. If you are there would be some sort of mental evaluation, mental health evaluation. The baby would probably be put in a temporary foster hold, and then once you had proceeded to follow all of the things that the state had laid out, you could get your child back. There is no world where we're not here to make fun of anybody or judge anyone because everybody has a different experience. And if this woman had no way to keep the heat on, no family around, nowhere to put this baby, and she felt like the baby would be safe there, then there's no shame in that. But there's no world where you drop your baby off at a fire station to keep it and think that you're not going to have to jump through hoops to get that baby back.
Yeah.
That is just part of the deal, and it wasn't in this movie.
Yeah, that was
is
just,
weird.
I figured. And
If you knew where Luke lived, which she did, you should have just brought it straight to Luke.
Yeah.
just leave it at Luke's
Because then he
house.
can make the decision.
he doesn't
I do
even
think,
know her.
But I do think,
Right.
like, legally, if you leave it at a fire station, they have to, like, call.
That's right.
Right.
Just because the
legally
first
should hope
name,
so.
Luke's a very popular name. No, I was talking about the other Luke. Luke Evans. He's much better with children. I didn't want you to take it. No.
The only last thing I was wondering is contractually, like logistically, how did this happen? Contract-wise, how do they get these 3 guys together? How do they do more stuff like this? Like, there must have been a unique deal just contractually to get these 3 big guys together. Maybe they did something with some parts on the end, like performance type incentives and things like that. But I'm just really curious about how they just structured this type of movie.
I think you just take one for the team.
Yeah.
yeah,
Take a
everybody
little-
kinda-
Yeah, it's like, we
the-
can all hang out and
the
do
Tom
this.
Brady
Yeah.
effect. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Mine is the dance. Did it get choreographed, or did the boys come up with it themselves?
Well, that's a good question.
Did they hash out in an afternoon, hey, let's come up with something fun?
Pretty good dance, too.
Because it was a good dance,
Yep.
but it also was not good.
Right.
Like, it's not like
Yeah.
professionally choreographed.
No.
True.
So it does seem like, but it's impressive. So how, like, if they did figure it out themselves, how long did that take for them to
Yeah, that's a great question. That was one of those things where I think I part ways. Like when you do stuff like that and the slow motion, everyone dresses up as an elf for the picture of a kid with Santa. Like those things are done because it's what if we did this? This would be funny, not because they serve any character in this movie. And so I thought it was funny. I just didn't think it was like you eliminate any chance of this being anything more than funny when you do things like that, because you're not actually doing it for the sake of a character. You're doing it just because what other fun thing can we throw in here? But yeah, it was too planned to be improv and not good enough to be choreographed.
Right.
So that's impressive in and of itself.
Yeah.
What the hallmark is that this is going to sound terrible. I don't want a sequel to this movie because I think that would be lazy. What I want is for these three guys, and maybe Kimberly Sustad gets more time and Ali Lieber gets more time. I want them to do something else. I hope this is such a big success that they can continue to get together and just have fun, because it's clear they had a blast. I laughed more than I've ever laughed in a Hallmark movie. And for those two reasons, why not give them the opportunity to do more of these, and not three men and a teenager or whatever, like just another concept of a movie. That's what I want. I want this to do well enough to where they say, hey, let's let some of these pairings happen and let's let some people have some fun and go out of the box with this stuff.
Yeah.
who would your next pairing be?
Oh, I feel like you could do one with three of the ladies and it
Yeah.
would be really, really good. But like if you got Ashley Williams and Nikki DeLoach in a movie together and they're
And
just
throw Lacey Chabert in there for like big name.
Well, they did kind of that with The Wedding Veil, but imagine if Ashley and Nikki went on a road trip.
Oh, Natalie Hall in there.
Like a road trip movie.
Are you kidding me?
Where they've got to go do something that has nothing to do with falling in love at all. Like I would, dude, Ashley Williams, Nikki DeLoach road trip movie. Like sign me up right now. Like, come on. It's fantastic.
Well, let's do it. We did, everybody. Congratulations. Another one down.
Double decker of the week.
Double decker of the week. Panda.
Yeah, it is.
Are you here, buddy?
Double decker of the week.
Whoa, thanks, fellas.
baby.
Can I just say this about those boys?
Yeah.
Good looking.
Happy Thanksgiving, Panda.
Oh, thank you.
Was it good?
Guys, can I be honest with you? Not one of the best.
Really?
A little disappointed.
Were
overall.
you happy that you didn't have to be here Sunday recording all day?
I missed it, to be honest with you.
Boy.
Missed it a little bit, guys.
It's one of us.
I love waking up to the smell of going back to school the next day and knowing that I have a full day of seeing and watching Hallmark movies ahead of me. I love that feeling.
The best part of waking up, though,
Is Folgers in your cup.
That's right.
Am I right?
promo
Thank you,
code Folgers deck.
Well, let's get to the double decker of the week. It's where we
Sure.
do a deep dive into somebody who has signed up for BrainwellGenPlus.com, which you can do, and then Panda gets your name, throws your
Out of a
name
hat.
into the data entry of Google Plus,
Yep.
and then
it's getting complex too.
very
with
complex.
New data protocols. It's just out of control.
Yes. Well, who do we have today?
Chantal O'Connor.
Wow.
Chantal O'Connor.
Can I say this? Chantal, just amazing.
Amazing.
Absolutely
Amazing.
top of the line. Top shelf.
Top of the line.
Top of the line. Top of the line here. This isn't your mid-grade model.
No.
Chantal O'Connor. This is the
Top of the line.
top shelf.
The O'Connor clan.
This is right. This is the 7 series of Chantal
Oh my
O'Connor.
gosh! Thank you, Dan, for elaborating on that. That
Doing
is
the
the
best I
truth
can.
from your heart
What'd you-
to God's ears.
As you Google Plus her, what'd you find out?
What stood out to you?
Well, a bunch of things, guys. I had to narrow it down, really. In this case, it was great. But she is a tech entrepreneur.
Great.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it's just so great,
We
right?
don't get
Tough to
many of
get in-
those.
That's tough to get into,
It is very,
especially if you're a female.
It is.
Wow.
She breaking the ceiling. Just
Amazing.
bursting through it.
She's top of the line.
Top of the line. What would you expect? She created an app.
Okay.
That I think is going to catch on. It's
You
going
think
to take
so?
over the world.
Yeah.
It's called Is It Sleeping?
Is it
sleeping?
Now, can I take a guess at what this is?
Go ahead.
The app, you take a picture of something, and the app reads its vitals and tells you if it's asleep or not?
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. You got it. Knocked it out.
Why?
What do you mean, why? How many
times have you said, I wonder if that thing is sleeping? I wish I had an app.
What are the
eyeballs?
What are the options? Sleeping or dead?
Yeah, or not sentient.
Or playing possum.
Or not sentient.
What if they're playing possum? They're acting like they're sleeping. But
Well,
they're
and that's
actually-
where this app gets real helpful because how many times have you stumbled across a possum?
All the time.
You've kicked it maybe a few too many times, and then you
Once
realize
you kick it that third or fourth time, you've crossed a bridge. There's no
you
returning from.
cannot return from.
That's right.
And that app, every single time I've used it, it has given me a 99% certainty rating that possum.
So there's a
So
1 in
there
100
is a
chance that it's
chance.
going to lead you down the wrong
There
path.
is a chance that what this
It's
app
gonna say-
does specifically, it will not
There's
do
a
for
1 in
you.
100 that it's going to say, yeah, kick that possum. Have yourself a day. And it's going to be wrong. There's some bugs in the app.
They're working on it.
Yeah.
And when is tech ever perfect?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of the things we've talked about here seem pretty flawless. from a
I
tech
mean,
standpoint.
I would say this is one of the more well thought out ideas I've ever heard.
I love it, Chantal. I love it.
I think it is a something that someone will use.
My wife used it yesterday.
For what?
I was asleep after eating my turkey.
She was
So
concerned.
the it was you?
Yeah.
She wouldn't check a pulse or like see if you're breathing. She's like, I don't want to touch that. I'm going to use an app to
It
see
works
if
on
it's
full-grown?
sleeping.
Yeah, absolutely.
It works on
It's
anything living.
amazing. It's cutting edge.
I don't think it is that. I think this app was pretty basic to design.
Hey, did it get
and-
it right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it did.
Cut a
It,
break there.
You were dead.
It was 98% certain. And so it was the probability was definitely
The
on my side.
profitability.
That's almost, I don't know. The fact that there is a 2% chance that you are dead is,
Yeah, the app says that anyway.
yes.
Yeah, it's a little
But
bit
I
more
mean,
than I'm
I
comfortable with.
think it took into account. I'm not looking like the spring chicken I once was.
So it knows
how old you are.
how
I'd like
old
to-
you are. It knows.
I'd like to think it.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
Wow.
congratulations. Great app. Back to you, boys.
Wow.
thanks so much,
What a
Panda.
kind fella.
The
What a
best.
kind
The
fella. We did, everybody. We're going to be back tomorrow with another one. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is the That Sounds Fun podcast. It's produced by Tracy Name. It's recorded live in, that Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com.